Hey everybody, this is David, and today I am going to be talking about Arrow, Season 3, Episode 8, Brave and the Bold. But before I get to, talking about the episode, I wanted to, I'm sure some of you are noticing I'm wearing this shirt here with Stephen Amell's face on it. And this was a shirt that I got because he was selling some to raise awareness on cancer, and for every shirt that he sold, the money goes to his charity called Fuck Cancer. And I decided to get a shirt. One, because my grandfather has cancer, and so I thought, well, it was a good cause, so why not? And number two, it was just a good cause, man. I mean, there's no better reason than that. So yeah, go and check out. I'm sure you can still donate to his charity, but I don't know if he's still giving away shirts, selling shirts for that. And I donated like $34. That's how much the shirt was. And yeah, it was really cool. So now I have this awesome shirt, and just like yesterday, I decided to wear it for this review on this episode of Arrow and The Flash. I did it yesterday too. So let's talk about this episode. What did I think of it? First of all, I want to talk about Boomerang, the villain of the episode, or Captain Boomerang, whatever you want to call him. Boomerang was here, and I gotta say, I was very impressed, because when we saw him at the tease of the last episode, which I think was the one with Cupid, which was 2 weeks ago, because Arrow wasn't on last week, I was kind of worried about it, because it came across a little bit cheesy to me. But when I saw him in this episode, I was like, oh yeah, okay, this is going to be badass. Especially that opening with him dealing with Arrow and Roy and the police. That was a really badass opening. This whole episode was great. I just loved it. And, if it wasn't for Boomerang being a great threat, you wouldn't have felt that this was a worthy opponent for the two heroes to take on. And funny enough, in the comics, Boomerang is a Flash villain. So it makes me wonder if we will see him on Flash one day. Right now we know he's on the same island that Slade is locked up on. So I don't know, man. Unless someone breaks him out of there, it could be fun and interesting. And it makes me wonder if Argus will recruit him for the Suicide Squad, or Amanda Waller, whoever's in charge of Argus right now. I don't know. I'm a little confused with the whole Argus thing, but I was enjoying them in this episode too. I thought they played a really key role in the episode. And let's get to our main heroes now, Oliver and Barry. First, Oliver. What I really liked about this episode and the last one is how these crossovers have really helped the two heroes progress a lot. I mean, Barry in the last episode learned a lot from Oliver about how to fight and keep, don't just look at your own town, look all around you, because you'll never know where these villains may lie. And now Oliver's learning about his own humanity, because Oliver's been, he's kind of been losing hope, if you think about it. Not losing hope, but he feels like after he's done as the Arrow, I think he's even said it in one episode, after he's done as the Arrow, he feels like maybe he'll have nothing else to gain. And Barry told him, look, man, your humanity is still part of you, or else you wouldn't be doing the good things that you do. And I'm glad Barry kind of opened that up to Oliver, and maybe he will start lightening up a little bit more. Maybe not everything will always be gloomy for him. I think he'll still be a little bit gloomy, especially when the story needs him to be. But I hope to see a little bit more of a lighter side of Oliver. Like at the end there, it was cool seeing him have a little fun, going out and sparring with Barry. I think that was a really nice little moment between them. There were a lot of great scenes between Barry and Oliver in this episode that I really enjoy, especially that tense moment where Barry saw how Oliver works, interrogates people, and they had that little, that little argument there. To me, it was great on both sides, and I think both sides came up with good arguments, and both actors are just really great in this episode. They really show why they're the leading man of both of their shows. And, Barry was a lot of fun in this episode, too. Something great about The Flash is that he brings great humor because he is a lighter character. So he adds that. And bringing that onto Arrow was a really great balance. I didn't know how they were going to make that work. I didn't even know if they would, even go as far as showing The Flash's powers in this episode. I thought they would, hide it somehow and kind of shy away from it because they want to keep their grounded tone. But I'm glad they actually showed Barry's powers in this episode. It was a lot of fun seeing these characters from both shows, not just Barry and Oliver, but Cisco and Caitlin. It was fun seeing them come and interact with Roy and Diggle and Felicity. It was just so much fun seeing all of that together. I really like that moment where Diggle and Roy and Cisco were all in the van talking about how, these superhuman characters were, these are things that are amazing to think about because they're not everyday situations. And I really hope this episode opens the door for more of the superpowered characters to come on the show and have Oliver fight them, because I'd like to see how Oliver would handle them without the Flash. Okay, you don't have the Flash today, Oliver. How are you gonna handle Captain Cold on your own? I'd like to see episodes like that. I still want to see the more grounded villains too, because I think those could be pretty interesting as well. Boomerang here could have easily just been Arrow and his team taking care of him, and that was it. But they create a situation, a really good situation, especially at the end with the bombs, that you needed the Flash there. But I'd like them to create a situation where he had to figure it out without the Flash. That would be really interesting for future episodes. I'm also going to say, because I haven't really touched on this ever since I started these reviews on Arrow, the flashbacks. I haven't really been impressed with the flashbacks this season up until today's episode. I think today's episode is probably my favorite episode that involved the flashbacks, because it finally seems like they're going somewhere with it, and I'm really interested to see now where they're taking this, because whatever Amanda Waller is getting Oliver ready, it seems like she's kind of training him in some sense. And maybe he needs that, because we haven't really seen how he develops his skills as someone who interrogates people. And I think this episode was really the episode that showcased that. And it was really cool seeing all of that in the flashbacks. So to wrap everything up, guys, I'm going to say I really enjoyed this episode. Just like last night's episode, I'm giving this episode a 10 out of 10. I even think this episode was even better than yesterday's episode, and I really love that one too. So it's kind of insane for me to say this, but I felt this one was a great conclusion. Even though it wasn't really a conclusion, this episode could stand on its own without having to watch the other one, because they even say this episode takes a week after yesterday's episode. So it stands on its own really well, and as an individual episode, it was great. As a continuation, it was still great. Even though I don't look at it as a continuation, it's its own episode, and that's what it should be. That's what the writers wanted you. Because if you're not watching The Flash, they don't want you to worry about that too much. But if you are, you're getting bonus points because you're seeing all of this, universe connect to each other, and that's the fun of watching both Arrow and the Flash. I can't even dream of what someone, and I know there's a couple of people out there that just watch Arrow, and some people are just watching the Flash, even though I'm sure more people are watching the Flash because the ratings are a little bit higher on that one. But yeah, seriously, if you're not watching Arrow, what's wrong with you? And if you're not watching the Flash, get a life. These two shows are probably some of the best superhero television out there right now. They're better than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They're better than, I'm going to even say, Gotham. I enjoy them both. And that's not just because of these crossovers. It's just the way they're both executed. And they're just a lot of fun, nicely written. And you gotta, they're fun superhero TV shows, man. And they're definitely paving the way at where superhero shows can go. And I hope a lot of these shows that are based off comic books, superheroes, take some notes of what these guys are doing, because they're doing some pretty impressive stuff. And they're clearly learning where, in my opinion, they're learning what Smallville, the mistakes and the good things that they did. Because Smallville, I think, really helped push the boundaries on a lot of that stuff too. Even Gotham, you can see, took some stuff from there. And this crossover definitely is a 10 out of 10 for me. So I loved it, and I can't wait for next week, because both of them are gonna have their winter finales, and from what I've been reading and pictures I've been seeing, they look really cool. I'm sure there's some videos up right now of the trailer, and I'm for sure going to check them out. So until next week, guys, I'm really excited. This has been a great week for DC. We got Suicide Squad, and we got the Flash and Arrow crossover event. Man, can't wait for next week. Okay, until next time, guys. Later.